Get ready with me while I tell you about my awful first day working for a very well-known women's clothing brand. And spoiler alert, it was also my last day because I quit on the spot. Okay, so for context, I applied to this job mostly for fun. I wanted to get back into retail a little bit, but I do work a full-time job and I just wanted something fun to do on the weekends, not really for money, but just to have something fun to do. And I've worked in boutiques before, so I kind of knew what I was getting into. I think I'm pretty good at working in a boutique like that, and so I was ready for the interview. So I go in for the interview and it goes great. She hires me on the spot. She says, you'll be a perfect fit. We love your background, and I fell in love with the manager. I thought, this is gonna be great. However, she told me that even though she was the one who hired me, she was actually moving to a different store location before I would be starting the next week. So I would meet all the other girls when I started. So my first day comes and I walk in, I introduce myself to the girls, and the store manager says, okay, I have a meeting to get to, but here's the vacuum. Just start vacuuming the whole store and the fitting rooms. So right off the bat, I was kind of like, but I was like, maybe she's busy. She has a meeting to get to that she forgot about. So I just started vacuuming. So a little over an hour goes by and I have vacuumed the entire store. And mind you, this is a very big store, bigger than ones I have ever worked in. It has about 8 to 10 fitting rooms, I think. And none of the other girls talked to me while I was doing this, but I just kept working. The girl eventually comes back and she tells me, we're gonna start you as a greeter at the front of the store. So basically I was like, this is gonna be easy peasy. I know how to greet customers. I'm pretty good with my people skills. I thought, easy. She gives me a bullet point list of everything that I need to tell these women or anyone who walks into the store before they start shopping. So basically I needed to tell them my name, all our promotions, ask them if they needed any help. There was other things also on the list. And if someone came in and got past me before I was able to tell them everything on the list, she was upset. But mind you, when I walk into a store, I am not trying to have a conversation with the store employee at the very front of the store before I start shopping. I kind of just want to get in and start looking around. So I understood why all of these people were seemingly annoyed at me for trying to hold a full conversation before they started looking around. It just felt really awkward because these people were trying to scoot by me while I was trying to finish my spiel, while looking over my shoulder, watching the girl watching me, making sure that I said every single thing on that list before they started shopping. Secondly, when people would ask me for help, because I offered it to them, I said, let me know if you need any help shopping. They would come back and ask me for help, and if I left the front door to actually go help them, I got in trouble. She said, you are not allowed to leave your post, because if you leave your post, people will walk in and not be greeted and not be told our promotions. Which I understand, but if someone asks me for help, I'm not going to say, no, I cannot help you. On top of all of this, she's also putting a bunch of clothes on a rack next to me that I'm supposed to also be finding the spots where they go and putting them away while not leaving the front door. So I had that post for a few hours, and the whole time I just was basically having a panic attack because I could feel her watching me, and she just kept telling me I was doing things wrong when I really, basically all that I thought I was supposed to do was welcome people into the store and let them know that I'm here if they needed help. I also just want to mention that I've been in other locations of this store since working this day, and I have not been greeted in the way that I was told I needed to greet everyone. I'm not bombarded, like I was told to do to other people. Okay, then I worked fitting rooms for most of the rest of the day, the next few hours, until she came and got me and said, okay, we need to go do some of your training in the back, like computer videos and just some questionnaires and stuff that I needed to watch and fill out. At this time, it's 4 o'clock. I was supposed to be there from 10 to 4. She told me 10 to 4 was my shift. It's now 4 o'clock and she's giving me more things to do. But you know what? I was like, maybe this will just take a few minutes and she knows I have to go soon. I was incorrect. 2 more hours went by of her saying, just one more thing, just one more thing. Here's the last thing you need to do. Until finally at 6 something, I said, I really need to go. She looked at her watch and said, oh yeah, you were only supposed to be here until 4. I didn't even look at the time. Which, in her defense, I know I should have said something sooner. But I just kept thinking, she obviously must know what time my shift was today. She's the one who told me when I walked in what time my shift was over. So I just assumed she was actually giving me something that was only going to take a few more minutes. It just kept happening though. She also then said, oh my gosh, I forgot to tell you that you did get a 30-minute break for a snack or lunch that you could have taken. I didn't know that. I just didn't ask for one. I should have known that I could have taken a break, but I didn't ask for one. It was my first day. I thought surely she would tell me when it was time for my break. So 10 to 6:20-ish, I did not have a sip of water, a bite of food. I was literally shaking. I was so hungry and tired. I said thank you, said my goodbyes, and left. I also think it's worth a mention too that the whole time I was there, I just kept overhearing the other girls talking to themselves, complaining that they're so tired and they haven't had a day off in months, and complaining about their shifts, and I don't know, that just was another red flag to me. Oh my gosh, I completely forgot to tell you guys. So when I was greeting, the reason that this girl was telling me that I needed to remember to say every single thing on the bullet point list to every single person that walked in, her reasoning, she told me that they get secret shoppers in this store, which basically is someone from corporate who comes in undercover as a normal shopper, and they take note of every single interaction that they have in the store with the girls who work there, and they take points off for anything that is on their bullet point list that they go down, and if something is not checked off by the time they leave, they will fail your store. And I don't really know what happens if they fail, but she said, our store will fail and it will be your fault. That alone was just a lot of pressure that I did not want to be responsible for. Okay, anyway, so I left the store feeling really terrible about myself, about my skills. I just felt awful. And it's not a good, that's not what I was looking for in a job. I thought this was going to be an easy, fun job. I would make friends, a little extra money, and I left feeling terrible. So then about a month goes by and I still haven't been paid for the day that I worked there and the hours that I put in. So I reach out to the girl that I worked with and had contact with, and I asked her about it, and she gave me the number of somebody in corporate or higher up that I needed to reach out to. And I was really nice about it. I just let her know that I hadn't been paid yet and was asking when to expect my payment. She was really rude about it. She said, basically, who are you? Where did you work? What? I don't understand. She asked why I only worked one day. I let her know that this job just wasn't for me. I told her about my experiences a little bit. And then she got super nice, like apologizing profusely. She let me know my check was on the way that day. And the switch up was crazy. So anyway, that is the story. And I do want to mention that I do really still love this brand. I love what they stand for. I just did not have a good time working there, and I don't know if it was just that location, I don't know, but I just wanted to tell you guys. Bye.
Get ready with me while I tell you about my horrendous first date story. So this was a couple of years ago, and I met this guy off of Instagram. He had DM'd me, and I was like, you know what? Why not? So anyways, I gave him my snap, and we are, well, like, I'm trying to message him, but he doesn't message back, like, ever. He maybe only snapped me twice, and the first time was to ask me out on a, like, out for a date. And then the other time that he snapped me was to confirm the date, like 2 days later. Weird. So the plan is to go out for ice cream, right? I'm like, yeah, like, okay, sure, it's just ice cream, whatever. Like, you go, it's supposed to be like 30 minutes, give or take. So I'm getting ready. He comes, he picks me up. He waits at the end of my driveway, doesn't come to the door. He didn't even get out to open my door or anything, which was like whatever. So we go to this ice cream place, it's raining outside, and they're closed. Great. So then we just kind of sit there and talk for a minute, and he's like, hey, is it okay if I go and like stop home and grab something? I was like, yeah, that's fine. Now, on the drive there, he calls his mother and he's like, hey, I'm coming home, I have a surprise for you. I'm like, okay, that's kind of weird. We get to the house, we walk in. His mom, so excited to meet me. Do you know this is our first date? This is weird. Sweet lady. She's a gem. But just weird that I was meeting her on the first date. Just a little strange, but whatever. So he's like, okay, like, let's go. We go. He wanted to go to this place that was, I don't know, a half hour away. Like, okay, not bad. Like, I know there's others that are closer, but that's fine. It's still pouring. We go and we eat our ice cream in the car. So we are sitting there eating ice cream in the car. He says, do you want to be my dad? I've already met his mother at this point, so I'm like, you know what? Sure, let's go meet your dad. Drives to his dad's place. His parents are separated, obviously. So we get there. I walk in. I'm like, okay, like, this is like kind of strange, whatever. Not only did I end up meeting his father, I met his grandmother, because apparently the father lives with the grandmother at the grandmother's house. I got no heads up. They kept thinking that I was his girlfriend, whatever. Had no idea that it was our first date, and that I had barely spoken to this guy. So anyways, we leave after that. We live near Niagara Falls, right? And he's like, oh, do you want to go for a walk or something? Do you want to walk down by the falls? I'm like, sure, you know what? Like, why not? So we go and walk down by the falls, and we're just kind of walking and talking, which is fine. And he kind of opened up about a few things. I opened up about a few things. And I was telling him in the process about, like, my health issues. Because I have a lot, and they consume my entire life. I was telling him about those, whatever. We get back to the car. He starts crying. I'm like, is this dude crying? What is happening? And he was like, you're just such an amazing person. Like, I'm so, like, this isn't fair. You know, you hear all these stories about them happening to, like, people you don't know. But then when it comes to someone that you do know and someone that you know personally, it hits so different. I'm like, okay, either he's really strange or he's just a really empathetic guy. I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. But he cries for like 5 minutes straight. Like sobs. sobs. Not like tears up. No, he sobs. So this dude's sitting there crying. I'm like, okay, do I comfort him? What do I do? Like, I felt so awkward. I was like, okay, I don't know this guy. Now he's crying. What do I do? So, yeah, there was that. Then after that, he just kind of like drove me home. And so I got home. And for some reason, I was feeling like really good about it, because in my head, I'm like, he's, he liked me so much that he brought me to his family, and he's so empathetic that he cried on the first date. Come back for part 2, because I decided to invite him to a party 2 days later.
Hi guys, welcome back to Get Ready With Me. I know you guys have missed these. I've missed them too. Today we're gonna be doing a story time foundation on, but okay, so let's start this story by telling you guys the background of what happened. So if you're an OG, you guys remember the story time I did like a long ass time ago about this one girl who did me kind of dirty. This was like a year ago. This month it was her birthday. This was like 2 weeks ago. So it was her birthday, right? And she wanted to do this whole like dinner birthday type of thing, and I was like down for it. And it was just gonna be like her, me, and her 2 other friends, who mind you are her friends. Like, I am mutuals with them on like Instagram, and that's it. But like they're not my friends, you know what I mean? And like specifically this one girl. Day dinner, she had actually texted me. She had texted me if my boyfriend Jake could drive all of them, including me, to the birthday dinner. Which, first off the bat, I thought that was like I don't know those girls, and like, why would my boyfriend like drive them? You know what I mean? Like, the whole dinner, it was fun. It was like fun. It was cute. I took pictures of her. It was cute. Anyways, she had also asked me if she could spend the night at my house, which again, I had said yes. Like, she's been to my house a couple times. And at the dinner, she had actually asked me if her other friend could spend the night as well. And I was like, I don't know, like, I ended up saying yeah, just because like it was like just like so in the moment. They ended up driving to my house, and I drove separately. And I met them here at my house. So we get here to my house, and my boyfriend ends up driving us to go get drinks and like weed and stuff. Who, mind you, she asked me if we could get the drinks and stuff for her, and of course I was like, yeah, like that's my best friend who I've known for like a couple years. So I was like, duh, like I'll get drinks for her and shit, like it's her birthday. As soon as we get in the back of my boyfriend's car, these 2 girls just like go in their whole on little world. Like, should I name drop? So to not get you guys confused, look, there was my friend, and then her friend. I'm gonna call her friend. So those were the 2 girls who were in the back of the car, and then right off the bat, they were literally just like so in their own world. Cause like, bro, my boyfriend does have a nice car. Like, Jay has like a nice whip, and he has like starlights in the back of his car. The entire night, they were literally just like fucking making TikToks in the back of his car with the flash on, like in their own little world. They were like gossiping to each other, about high school. Mind you, she just turned 20, bro. Like, they were just like wanting to do prank calls and shit, and like they were literally not even talking to me. Like, it got to the point where even Jay noticed, like, yo, like, this is like weird, like, why are they like not talking to you, and like even he started to like try to make conversation with them, like would ask them questions and shit. They would reply and then go back to their own little world, like just fucking yapping and gossiping. And like, mind you, I don't even give a fuck about the friend. Like, I could care less about that fucking friend. She's not my friend, you know what I mean? Like, I was just weirded out by the behavior that my friend was giving, because like she's hanging out with me and my boyfriend multiple times, and she was acting like he was a stranger to her. And like, Jay is like such a friendly person, like, like he makes conversation. He's not weird, but it was clear that they were just leaving us out and shit. So we end up getting to the store and we go even to get like snacks and stuff. Like Jay's like, oh, like you guys want to hop out to like pick your own snacks and stuff. We hop out and like they go and run to their own little like aisle in the store and go continue making TikToks, and like they don't even include me. And like I was just like, bro, like this is weird. Like I don't know, I just honestly felt hella left out. And I thought it was crazy too because like I was the only one who pulled up to that dinner with flowers and a gift for her. The whole night continues to be like that. By this point I'm like, okay, I don't even want these bitches to stay over at our house. Like they're giving weird behavior. And it was like, you know what, I had already convinced them to like reschedule, and it just like keeps getting fucking weirder to the point where they're gonna leave and they're like, oh, we're gonna go upstairs to grab our bags and stuff. And I'm like, okay, cool. And we have music playing, obviously, like it's not awkward in the house. Me and Jay end up staying downstairs and are just like talking. Like 15 minutes go by and we hear like fucking stomping upstairs. He's like, bro, go up there. So I go up here, I walk upstairs and I see the door to me and his room closed, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I obviously like push it open and they're just like in there like messing around, making TikToks like in our room and shit. And I was just like, what the fuck? The night was not about me, but it's like obviously you're in someone else's house, you know, and if you're gonna ask me to do this and this, like shit, the least you could do is include the person, you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong though, the whole entire night I was not being like, I'm not a mean person at all. Like they literally had no idea, I guess, that I was like bothered or anything. Obviously because I didn't make it known, you know, it's her birthday. I don't want to be dramatic and make the night about myself. Ended up leaving. She damn near forgot the flowers I got her. I said bye to them and they left. As soon as I come back in the house, me and my boyfriend sit down on the couch and we're like, what the fuck was that? And we were just like talking about the whole entire night. Like it was just so fucking weird. Like, bro, I had never seen her switch up around another person like that, you know? Like I was so fed up. Like I was so happy that honestly they didn't drink all their drinks and shit because I saved them for the next day and invited my real friends over. Like, bro, Maritza and Elijah would never pull some shit like that. And I was like, you know what, you're right. And I invited them over the next day. But anyways, it was like so crazy. Like I literally texted my sister about it ASAP too to get like another perspective, and it was just like, she was like, what the fuck? Were you not like, what the fuck?
Tell them about the dress.
Oh my gosh. And so it doesn't even end there. Like once they leave, I like come up here to take my makeup off for the night, and I'm like, bro, and Jay's like, what? And he's like, what? And I'm like, that friend of hers, that little girl, was literally wearing my dress the whole entire fucking night. Like, bitch. So like months and months ago, I had let my friend borrow that dress and she never gave it back. I have the habit of letting people borrow my shit and they never give it back. Anyway, she never gave it back. I pull up to that dinner and that bitch is wearing my fucking dress, and I was like, what the fuck? I didn't even say nothing when I saw her. Like, she knows me, you know what I mean? She didn't even say nothing. Like, my friend was the one that was like, oh, like, I let so-and-so borrow your dress, and I was like, okay. And then like later when they ended up both pulling up to my house was when that girl was like, oh, did you notice I'm wearing your dress? I was like, yes, the fuck I noticed. You like, you would never see me give out my friend's clothes that I haven't given back in months to some random bitch you don't know. So I ended up not giving a fuck about it for like the next week and a half. But anyways, I'm running out of time. Let me know if you want a part 2.
Get ready with me in Storytime on how I almost shat myself on a first date. This was almost a year ago. I transferred to this school, so I was like a bit late on the work. There's this guy, let's call him D, who gave me like his notes and helped me catch up. And a week in, he confessed and asked me out. I just saw him as a friend, but he was cute enough and he sounded really genuine. He was pretty nice. So I agreed. We went to this nice Italian restaurant and got a pizza to share and a pasta for each of us. I got pasta with this really creamy sauce and a milkshake. Oh, is this a good time to mention I'm lactose intolerant? We finished eating and we stayed there to talk a bit, and the whole time, the only thing I could think about was the weird noises my stomach was making. Like, at this point, I knew something was about to go down. Like, I was gonna explode soon. I don't know what he was thinking, but he decided to walk 2 kilometers to the mall. And the whole walk there, I was like, holy shit, I'm gonna shit myself. The moment we got to the mall, I was like, I gotta use the bathroom. And I've probably never ran faster in my life. Bro, I stayed in that toilet for like half an hour. I was genuinely hoping he would be gone by the time I went out. Unfortunately, he waited the whole time. He was a nice guy, just not for me. Also because I was too embarrassed to go out with him again.
Get ready with me while we talk about my toxic ex-best friend. I also just washed and blow dried my hair, so that's why it's looking like a hot mess right now. But let's get into it. So this girl I was friends with for a long time, and I still know her. I haven't seen her though in like probably a year, but I have like talked to her because since we were friends for so long, I know everybody in her whole family. So this girl was my best friend in the entire world, and I could not wrap my mind around the fact that she did not like me or she was out to get me, but she was. Since I knew this girl at such a young age, we had another friend too. She would always tell the other friend that Bella's spreading lies, or Bella's saying this about you. Bella told this boy that you like him, and then it would make her come back at me super mad and heated. This went on for years. I was constantly crying from a young age, feeling super left out because she would always try to like get people against me. So then I would have no friends and be alone, and this worked so many times. And when I was younger, I didn't understand. Like, I just thought, like, I understood that she was bullying me, or it felt like I was being bullied, but she was still my best friend, and I didn't understand on how to like cut people off because they're doing something. I thought like I could work through this, you know? She would also always pretend to get mad at me, or she would be mad at me, and she would just ignore me. She wouldn't talk to me for the entire day, but she would talk to all of our other friends. And she would just only single me out and ignore me. And I'm telling you guys, I never once did anything. She even got her mom to text my mom saying that I was this super mean, horrible friend. And then my mom was like, Bella, you guys are just going through this really tough, rough patch right now. And my mom would ask me, of course, like, what are you doing? And I said, Mom, like, I remember like falling down, like, and crying. Mom, I didn't do anything. Like, she just bullies me all the time. But for some reason, she was still my best friend. I remember one day, I think I was like 12. She was talking to my other friend, or our other friends, because we had like a group of friends. And they were talking about this song that they knew. And they're like, oh my god, I love that song. And I was like, yeah, I like that song too. And then she was like, Bella, you don't even know what the song is. And I was like, yeah, I do. And I remember saying like, this is the song. She was like, and then she starts laughing with my other friends like, no, that is not it at all. And then they're just basically bullying me for like the entire day. One thing I never ever understood is why. I never understood why until I got older, and I'm gonna explain. But like, no matter the person, boy or girl, she would flip them against me. And I remember one of my good friends at the time, he told me that he didn't like me, and he said all of this stuff. He was like, because you do this, this, and this. And I was like, what are you talking about? That's not true. And he was like, so-and-so told me. And I'm like, it was just always people were against me, and I never knew why. One of her favorite things to do was whenever she was with my other friend, she would always text me and be like, hey, what are you doing? And I would be like, I'm doing this. She'd be like, oh, well, where I'm hanging out with so-and-so. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And she loved making me feel like I was left out. That was like her favorite thing to do. Like, every time they hung out without me, she would always text me and be like, what are you doing? And then send pictures of like them laughing, and I was always left out. This went on for years, guys, of this just bullying, but like, she would always have these really sweet, nice moments, and she would do nice things for me, and I was like, she's just such my best friend. And I just genuinely, like, my heart, I just did not like giving up on people at all. Bottom lashes. Anyways, so we finally get to high school, and we're at the same school this year. And I remember being so excited because I was online during COVID for an entire year, so I didn't actually see anyone. I didn't see any of my friends for an entire year. So I remember being so excited to finally see her. And I was like, we can maybe have classes together, yada, yada, yada. But then, and I thought that we moved on from our childish ways because I hadn't seen her in a year, and we didn't get in any arguments or any fights because we were just texting and everything was chill, you know, FaceTiming. So I was like, okay, maybe we moved on from the childish ways. Until my friend, my best friend, she got a friend.
who was like, I think 2 grades older than us, because we were sophomores and this girl was like older. And this girl came up to me randomly and was like, and I didn't know her, I just knew that she was my friend's friend. Like, I never had an interaction or a conversation with her. But she came up to me one day when I was walking in the hallway. She's like, bro, you're literally the prettiest person I've ever seen in my entire life. And like, she just started going on a rant about like how she thought I was the prettiest girl ever, which was so sweet. I was like, oh my gosh, like, you are so kind, so sweet, you know, that's so kind. Confidence boost, whatever. But little did I know that this girl was actually gonna make my life more hell. So we're gonna fast forward like a few months. This girl, she starts popping up randomly, giving me like everywhere. Like, I would see her, and she only talked to me one time, and that was the one time whenever she was saying I was pretty. After that, she would give me stank looks. She'd give me like mean, like ugly, like it was giving evil stare. Like, she would do that all the time. And I remember thinking, like, I'm not gonna water the seed, maybe she just has an RBF. But y'all, she would pop up like everywhere that I was and just stare at me. I'm like, not even say anything. And I remember being like, hey, and she'd just be like, so I knew something was going on. Then one day I got summoned by some girls and my best friend, and they all came up to me and were talking about how I was this like two-faced person and how I was spreading rumors and lies about my best friend, and how I was about to get fought and that they were gonna fight me. All of that. So yeah, it was pretty fun. So basically, the girl that said I was so pretty and whatnot was telling my best friend lies about me and making my best friend turn on me. And she did. She got some of her family members against me to text me hateful messages. I remember one time, this is so weird, my best friend, she would tell me that her boyfriend or her man, whatever, thought I was so pretty. She was like, my boyfriend thinks you're so hot and you're so fine. And I'd be like, okay. And then I realized after that interaction, this whole thing was because she was jealous of me. That was it. The only reason she didn't like me, and she was doing that since a kid, is because she's always been jealous of me. And I realized that in that moment. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to always trust God. Also, I'm going to post a pic of my outfit out with me. So if you want to watch that, watch it. I love you guys. More importantly, Jesus loves you. And I'll see you in the next one.
Get ready with me while I tell you about my horror story with the girl who was my best friend, and we went on a beach trip. I just want to start this off by saying that this is not in any way, shape, or form me wanting to send hate to this girl. No. Do I like her? No. But forgiveness is key. Being forgiving, not hating others, kind of thing. So I'm not gonna hold a grudge on somebody just because we're teenagers and we're dumb and we argue. So we went on a beach trip to a beach that's about hour away from my house, I'd say. And we were going for the 4th of July, you know. A lot of people go there for the 4th on a place called Back Beach. If you're from around here, you'll know what that is. But we were basically like, her birthday is the 2nd of July, and we were like, okay, well, we can just tell our parents that it's also like we want to be there for her birthday. So that was like another thing that we like told our parents for reasoning why we wanted to stay down there from July 1st through the July 5th. So our parents say yes. They agree. We have everything planned out. Her mom's coming with us to stay at the beach house, and we're excited. And we planned this all out in about June, I'd say. And I agreed that I would pay her mom back because her mom's the one that is like renting out the beach house. So I was like, yeah, I'll pay you back. Mind you, I had to pay $819, I think, total to go stay at this beach house. Also, full disclosure, I was going to pay her back. Like, I planned on paying her back. I actually did, by the way, if you're thinking that I didn't. It's just I'm a teenager and I'm also a girl, are a woman, and it's kind of hard for me to make a lot of money. So I was currently at the time working at an ice cream shop making $7.25 an hour, and I was like, I'll pay you as soon as I can. Her mom was like non-stop asking my friend to like tell me to pay her back, like I need to pay her back, and I was like, I also don't get a lot of hours, I live off of tips, and there's really nothing that I could have done to pay her any sooner. So I tell my dad this, and he's like, all right, well, I'll pay her and then you pay me back so you don't have to feel so rushed by it, because I know you'll pay me back and I'm sure it'll take the ease off of it. Also, let's just take a moment to admire these Morphe brushes. Not sponsored, I just love them. Like, I've never really used Morphe, but these brushes blend so well. So, it's the day before the trip. I go over to her house, and oh my gosh, I cannot freaking think. I go to her house to stay the night because the next morning we're getting our nails done. And, I stayed the night at her house, and, we hung out with her boyfriend that night. And then next morning, wake up, go get our nails done, and then we get ready to pack, or I'm helping her pack. She's making me pack for her, basically. She's like, can you help me pack? But is making me put everything in her suitcase, which I'm a nice person. I don't mind that. But this isn't the only time that she asks me to do everything for her. So I drive a Jeep. I drive a 2-door Jeep, not a 4-door or 2-door Jeep. So I don't have a lot of trunk space. I don't have a lot of space in my car at all, period. Remember that for later on in the story. We go to leave, and we're like putting stuff in the car, and Mom's like, do you really need to take your Jeep? Do you really need to? And I'm like, yes. Like, what if I had an emergency and I had to drive back home? I'm obviously not gonna take one of your cars. Like, yes, obviously I'm gonna take my car, because what if I have an emergency? And my friend wanted to take her car, which is also a 2-door car. So, you know, we didn't have a lot of room, but we were bringing a lot of stuff because we were staying there for like 6 days, because we got an extra day added. So we stayed there June 30th through July 5th. And yeah, so our check-in time wasn't until 3. So we leave, we go to Target. I get a new bathing suit. Then we end up like, and then we get there. We finally get to the beach house, and everything's fine. Everything's fine. I pick the bunk bed because I love bunk beds. And I would rather sleep on a bunk bed than a bed, because, you know, it's not every day you get to sleep in a bunk bed. Well, trip's going great. We go out to dinner that night. I get a poke bowl, you know. Wanted to be a clean, healthy girl. But, you know, obviously this whole trip I wasn't. You know, I just wanted to at least eat one healthy thing on this trip, because I knew I was going to be eating, like, absolute crap the rest of it. Well, she is asking me to do everything for her. She could ask me to grab something for her that was, like, right next to her. Like, I'm sorry. Like, obviously I did it because I'm a nice friend, but there were some times that I was like, no, you can go get it yourself. We also, so I have a cooler that we painted together, actually. And, we, like, brought it because, you know, why wouldn't she want to bring a cooler to the beach? And she was like, I didn't really want to bring the cooler to the beach. I just really didn't, but she wanted to, and, you know, it's whatever. And so we get there, and she's like, Emma, can you carry it? Like, I don't want to carry it. And I'm like, no, you brought it, you wanted to bring it, you put your stuff in it, I'm not carrying it. I don't know if that makes me sound mean, but I'm that person that if you want to bring it, you can carry it. Well, I just want to say, I don't condone cheating. I hate cheaters, actually, because I have been cheated on in every relationship I've ever been in. She was talking about cheating on her boyfriend the entire time. No hate to her, but, like, I don't condone cheaters. Remember that. So her mom was having heart issues, and so she left. Her brother stayed with us, and they got into an argument on her birthday. So her brother stayed with us, and we were having fun, we were just living life, and she's still talking about cheating on her boyfriend. Every time after he'd leave the beach house from hanging out with us, oh, we need to go out, like, we need to find a 2-man, and I'm like, okay. Because obviously, and I actually met my boyfriend that I have now on the 4th of July at the beach, which is really funny. So the night that I actually met my boyfriend, I think Savannah was trying to mess with his friend, but they weren't really, like, talking. It was more of, like, me and Mason, my boyfriend, me, Mason, and his friend, talking about it, or talking to each other. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh, there's something in my eye. Sorry, there was something in my eye. I actually might have to make a part 2 on this whole story. I don't even know if anyone's gonna see this, but, so I told them that they can park outside of the beach house, because who wants to drive home on the 4th of July? There was a bunch of traffic, and, her mom actually wanted us to go home that night, which was going to ruin all of my 4th of July plans, and I was like, no, if you want us to leave, you can pay me back my money. Obviously, we stayed the night, and my friend got, like, really mad at me for letting them park in there. Like, my brother's gonna freak out, and I'm like, it's not like they were sleeping in the house. And they put some of their things in my car, like all their beach chairs and some firewood, and I was like, I don't have enough room, nor do I have enough gas to make it to your house. I'm gonna try to speed this up, but I literally, like, I was like, I can't bring it. I went home, took a nap because I stayed up really late and went to sleep late and woke up really early. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna have to make a part 2. If you want me to make a part 2, please let me know, because yeah.
I need your input because this girl I'm friends with, I feel like she's just been acting weird the more I think about it. I feel like she's low-key preying on my downfall, but I can't tell if I'm just being dramatic and overthinking because I tend to do that. Me and this girl have been friends since the beginning of the year, so not really that long. We're more going out friends, I would say. We hang out, once a month, sometimes twice a month. We usually go out to, like, a bar or something, but, occasionally we'll grab dinner and just, like, yap. The first couple of times I hung out with her, she was cool, like, really no issues. I was like, okay, cool, like, maybe this, like, we could be, like, really close friends. And then I think the 3rd or 4th time we hung out, inevitably we start talking about men because, I'm sorry, I just love talking about boys, I'm sorry. But also, I think it's a good way to, like, bond with people because we've all been traumatized by some man, so we all have that in common. We're talking about dating apps, our types, whatever, like trauma. I realize we have completely different types, polar opposite. We're talking, and in the bar, we're at this guy that, on paper would be my type walks in, and she's like, oh my gosh, like, that's your type. You should go up to him and talk to him. He was cute for, like, me being a few drinks deep on a Wednesday night at a, like, not busy bar. I was like, okay, like, he's cute, but I really was just not looking to talk to him. And she was determined to get his number for me, and I was like, okay, like, she's a good wing woman. Not that I really want this guy, but, like, I could get, like, a free drink out of it, you know what I mean? Before I talk to him, I'm looking at her, looking at their interaction, and she's just giving him, like, fuck me eyes. This guy's a lot taller than her, and she's just, like looking at him like this, and I was like, okay, like, kind of weird. You're asking him, like, for, like, my number. And then his back is completely turned to me, so I was kind of looking over at him so I could kind of look up and, like, wave or smile or something when he, like, inevitably turned around to, like, see if he was interested in me. He was over there for a few minutes, and I can tell she's just being really flirty with him, which I think is so weird because, again, we had polar opposite types, and you were going over there to be my wing woman. And then she gave him her phone to, like, put in his number or Instagram or something, I guess. And I don't really care. Like, it's just, like, a mediocre looking man to me, so it's, like, not really that big of a deal. But she, like, was like, oh, like, I went over and asked for you, but he said he wasn't interested in you, but he wanted me. And I was like, okay, like, it's possible, but, like, you never, like, pointed me out. So I don't know, maybe he saw me walking in or something, but, like, Okay. And a couple weeks later, we were grabbing dinner and we were talking about Hinge because, I mean, as you guys know, I just have a terrible track record with Hinge. But at the time, I was talking to this guy and we were planning on going out, and she was really like, what's the word? She was really pressing me to see his profile, and she took a really long, hard look at it, which I thought was kind of weird because I don't know, whenever I look at my friends' Hinge matches, I'm like, oh, okay, like, he's cute or whatever. Even, you know, like, I don't really care. And then she's showing me her Hinge, and she's like, oh, let's go through my liked profile, or the people that liked me. And, you know, she's a pretty girl. So she had, like, I don't know, like 30, 40 matches. So we were going through all of them, and of course, like, they're all, like, gremlins looking on there. Thing is I noticed that they were all the same ethnicity because she has a type. So I assumed that she probably put that in her Hinge, that it was a deal breaker if they weren't that specific race. And then I didn't see a single guy over the age of 23 on her liked profile. And the guy I was talking to, I like older men. I love me an older man. So the guy I was talking to was like 26 or something, but there was nobody above the age of 23 in her liked. What I'm basically saying is that she's not into older men. She's into men that are closer to our age. I subconsciously took note of that, and then a week later, she called me, and she never calls me, so I picked up and I was like, hey girl, like, you good? Like, oh my gosh, like, I'm so nervous. I'm about to go on a date with this guy, and then I was like, oh, like, you know, like, have fun, whatever, be safe. I asked how they met. She said Hinge, and she's like, you know what, like, I'll just share his profile with you so you can see it, which, again, I never asked for. She shares it, and it's that guy that I showed her, and I was like that, like, kind of pissed me off because I was just like, this is weird because, again, like I said, we have polar opposite types, and that means that she had to specifically change because the guy that I was talking to is a completely different race and a completely different age. And so I'm like, it seems like you changed your preferences based off of the guy that I was talking to see if you can match with him. And that was just really weird. I ended up not even going out with that guy, so it wasn't about, I need to calm down. It wasn't about the guy. It was just like, you know, about the principal. Well, you know what I mean about, like, it's the principal. I don't need to, like, over explain myself to you. I know you get it. I thought that was weird, so I kind of took a little break from hanging out with her. I think I didn't see her for 6-8 weeks, something like that. Also, I did confront her about it on the phone. I was like, yo, like, that's the guy I matched with, like, you're going out with him. And she's like, oh my gosh, what? You matched with this guy? That's crazy. Like, what a small, I'm like, bitch, like, don't play dumb with me. A couple months go, I think like 2 months go by, and then she hits me up and she's like, we need to hang out. And honestly, I was just like really bored and like lonely at this point in time. So I was like, okay, you know what? Like, we can go out, like, and just have a good time. This is just like why I kind of want to stop talking to her because she's moving really weirdly. But the last time we hung out, it was like 2 months ago or something like that. I've just been really busy, so I haven't really talked to her as much. But the last time we hung out, I was talking about this guy that I used to be super duper down bad for, like sickeningly, I don't know, just really down bad for. And so I was like talking about it. I don't care about that boy anymore. I like do not want that boy anymore. I was talking about it. She asked to see a picture of him, so I pulled up his Instagram. She snatches my phone from me and like starts really digging on his Instagram, and I was like, okay, like whatever. Nothing else was weird during this hangout. I go home and, you know, whatever. I haven't really gone out with her recently. I haven't talked to her as much just because I've been busy. Yesterday, I was on Instagram and I was scrolling on the Explore page, and this guy that I was talking about posted, and I guess because I used to stalk him a lot, I don't stalk him anymore, but I guess because I used to, Instagram's like, oh, like, I'll show you his shit. Of course, I'm gonna look, like, duh, like, obviously I'm gonna look. So I'm looking at it, and it says, liked by her. What the fuck? What? And so I click on the profile, and she posts it, and I'm just like, what the fuck? And this guy also, mind you, has a girlfriend. So I'm like, I know he's not on dating apps, or at least he shouldn't be on dating apps. And he also doesn't follow her back. So I don't know what to do. I don't know if I should like confront her about it or if I'm just being dramatic, but I think that's weird. I don't think I'm being dramatic because I think that's weird behavior and I would never do that. But I just don't know what to do. I don't know if I should just tell her like I'm just like done with her, or like just like ignore her, ghost. Like I don't know what to do. So like please help me out.
ওগো কতদিন ধরে তোমার লাগে আমি কথা কইতাছি মাগার
কি করো নাইকা হ্যাঁ আরো থেকে অনেক পর থেকে কি করতাছো ফোনের ভিতরে হামদাই রইছো
আব্বা তো মাগো মা আব্বা তো দেখি হেভি পাঙ্খ
নিশ্চয়ই কোনো ভেজাল আছে ওই দেখি কার লগে ফিলিং মারতে
কি আবার সকাল সকাল ঘুম ভালো হইছে তোমার আব্বার লগে দেখা কইরা এলাম হাইটটা গেছিলাম এই ঘটনা
তুমি রাগ করো না
রাগ তো তুমি করবা খাড়া খাড়া চায়া দাও
আমি তো ভাবছি ডাকাত পড়ছে নি
এই শাহজাহানগর বাড়িতে ডাকাত আইবো এমন কোন মায়ালাল পয়দা হইছে নি তোমার বিছানা আমি ভিজায় দিছি গা।
এটা তুমি কি করছো?
কি করছি ঘুমাইবা না?
তোমার পূর্বপুরুষের মাথায় কি সমস্যা ছিল আব্বা?
নাটকের পর কয় কি শুনছো ওই বেটা?
আব্বা জান, আপনার পোলারে এখন জিগান তো রুটি গরম না ঠান্ডা?
বাপ রে বাপ, শুনছো নি একেবারে ডর দেয় তো বলে খুশি খুশি করে কাটতো হয়েছে। আপনার ডর আপনার পকেটে থুয়া দেন।
খানদানটা আমার কত উচ্চা দেখতে হইব না?
দেখতেছি তো উঁচা ভি আর লম্বা ভি কুচি কুচি করে না কাইটা ফেলাইছি আব্বা। আমার তো মনে করে যখন ডর দেখাইতে দেখাইতে আমি দেখেন আপনি কি করি ঘরে আইলাম না, এখন দেন না আসমানে ঠাড়াল্লাহান একেবারে কাঁপায়া দিমু।
আচ্ছা আপনার
তুমি বাসে আসার পর থেকে আমাকে বাসে শান্তি সব ফিল লাগছে।
হায় হায় খাইছে করছোটা কি তুমি?
তুমি একটা ভিডিও কল করে পাঠাও প্লিজ প্লিজ। কবে আমগো দেখা
কোচিনটা কি এটা আব্বার লগে এমন চিপা মাইটা দিয়েছেন? কেমন খানদান বউ? তারপর তো ভয় কাঁচে মুচু খায়া গেছে গা, তারপর আবার দুর্নাম করতে হইব। এই তোর কি তোর দামি ফোন?
আইসা বাপ জান রাইতে ঠিকঠাক মতো ঘুমাইছে তো নাকি বাসায় গিয়া আব্বাজান রে কইবেন
কি করছো যেটা তুই? বাজার রে বাজার যাও চুইছে আজকাই তোর শেষ।
সম্মান সব পঞ্চার করে দিছে।
মাগার দোষ আমারও আছে, আমি একটু বেশি বাড়াবাড়ি করে ফেলছি। চলো না আমরা বাড়িতে ফিরে যাই।
তুমি কি পাগল হয়ে গেছো নি? এটাই আমার বাড়ি এখনতে।
চৌধুরী সাহেবের সাথে আমি কি কথা কইছি? তুমি কোনো কথাই কই নাই কা? সাজান তোমারে কইলো এত
দিচ্ছেন, হ্যাঁ দিচ্ছেন না? এলা বাইরন আমার বাড়িতে বাইরন।
একবারে হাসা করছেন আব্বা জান। আপনার পোলার এই বাড়ি থাকা কোনো বিতলামি করলে আমি তোরা গাড়াই, কিন্তু ভাবলাম আপনাকে একমাত্র পোলা গাড়াইলে আবার দিলে চোট পায়।
কি তাছো তুমি?
শোনো, তোমাগো খানদানে যেমন কিছু নিয়ম আছে আমাগো খানদানেও আছে।
এইসব ফাত্রা নিয়ম কেউ যেন জানবার না পারে, মনে থাকবো তো? তোর যে নতুন বাবি
তুমি কিন্তু আমার একটা ভিডিও কলও করো না। সোনিয়া, অ্যাঞ্জেল সোনিয়া।
তুমি কি শুরু করছো?
আরে আমি করলামটা কি? আমি যেখানে বয়ে আছি।
এই আমার ফোন দাও, দাও কইতাছি।
ছাড়ুম না।
কি দাও? ছাড় কইতাছি, আমার ফোন দিব না আমি।
এইটা আমগো খানদানি রীতি, তুই বুঝোস না?
আব্বা গতকালকে রাত্রে বেলা এমন সেটিং দিছি।
আব্বা ফোন দিয়ে কি করেন আপনি?
এই কথা কই, গান শুনি, এই আর কি।
বাস এই দুইটা কামের জন্য।
হায় হায়, করছে কি আমার খানদানির ইজ্জতের ফালুদা খেয়ালাইছে।
তোবা তোবা, কোস কি এত বড় বদ জামাই।
হারামজাদা আমার মা।
শাহজাহানের সাজেদা বাগান হুয়ে গেছে গা।
শাহজাহান হুনো না।
কও
বুঝার পারলাম না। বাড়ি মারলা আমারে, কান্দলা আমি কাঁদুম, তুমি কাঁদতাছো কেলা?
তারপর আর কি? সারা রাত কই আসলো, কি করছে আমি জানি না। আমার লাগে কেউ।
আপনি তো আপনার শ্বশুর বাড়িতে গিয়া ঠিকই হ্যাঁ নিয়ম কানুন অক্ষরে অক্ষরে পালন করছেন, আর আমার তো আয়া মিছা গপ।
তুমি কি কইবার লাগছো এগুলা? তোমার কি মাথা আউট হয়ে গেছে নি? এত বড় স্পর্ধা আমারে আদেশ। আর আমি যে তোর রুমে আইছি, রাইতে ঘুমাইছি।
Get ready with me for bed while I tell you probably one of the craziest things that's happened to me. Okay, so backstory, me and my friends, basically we live near these Stranger Things, like where they filmed everything, and we wanted to go visit it because we just watched the show. So basically one of the friends that we went with actually had been here like at least 8 times, so he knew his way around. Okay, so it was me, my boyfriend, my friend, her boyfriend, and her brother. So we get there and obviously it's really sketchy. It's actually in the process of being like torn down, and there was actually no way to get in anymore. So obviously he didn't really know like a way to get in because the way that he always had gone in was now shut. So he had the bright idea of getting a fire extinguisher and throwing it through the window. Now, a little backstory, I'm not the type of person to be doing this stuff like at all. I'm a very good kid, but I was in an adventurous mood, I guess. Anyway, so that's how we get in, and as you can probably tell, it was very loud, so I don't know what we were really thinking, but the cops definitely heard it, or somebody definitely heard it, and they ended up calling the cops. But you know, we didn't know that, so we continued to go on and explore. It was pitch black, so we all had our flashlights on. We were just looking. We actually went on the roof and just sat there for a little bit. It was pretty calm. And my boyfriend actually turns to the side and he notices a bunch of flashing lights. So if you didn't know, we were at Hawkins Lab, and basically it's a really big like plus size building, like a plus size shaped building, and we saw the lights coming from this way, so we all freaked out. And basically my sister's brother had never like had this happen. The cops have never came to this specific area, so we were all like freaking out. So the best thing we could really think about doing was to just get out of the building and run. So we actually ended up going back to where we came out of, the broken window, and we decide to straight on run for it. Now the cops, we could hear them. We didn't really know where they were, but we definitely heard them. They were probably above us. So the cops were here. We were on the basement floor, so we decided to run this way towards the forest. So this was probably not a smart idea because the cops did end up finding us and they started to run towards us. Now at this point I was peeing my pants because this has never happened to me before, but we thought everything was fine because we were actually outrunning them. And we get to a certain point where everybody just stops and we look down and there's a 20-foot wall that we have to jump down. Now this is because we are in the woods in the middle of nowhere, but we're actually in somebody's backyard now. So not only are we trespassing, I don't even know, like Hawkins Lab, we're trespassing somebody's backyard now. We do end up jumping down and running to the car, and obviously we outran them, but I 100% don't recommend doing that ever. So anyways, that's all. Bye guys.